Hey everyone, this is the first ever 3-Minute Thursday where I address questions that I see happen a lot in comments. And so the big one that was on my mind while I was on vacation was wild caught fish. A bunch of people are super against them. I am not. Let me tell you why, or at least let me tell you why you should research it more. Basically, if we have no wild caught fish, we can't get them into the trade. So there's that right there. So you could be like, well, maybe I don't agree with that, but now that they're in the trade, I'll only buy captive raised. All right? But there's a bigger problem than that, depending on the industry. Like in the Amazon River, for instance, there's, I'll link to Project Piaba, and you can read all the infographics and all that kind of stuff. We'll put a link like right here. But basically, there's 40,000 people that their job is to collect essentially cardinal tetras and ship them around the world. Now, if we take that industry away, they're forced to find other work. Other work in those industries are things like growing palm oil. So IKEA can make more candles and that kind of stuff. And it's been proven that when we slash down the rainforest and we grow these palms, the temperature rises quite a bit on these rivers that were being shaded. They're no longer shaded. And so temperature goes up. That's bad. Rivers go down because there's more evaporation, so that right there. But what if that wasn't enough? So let's look at, okay, there's that project, but there's other projects going on, like in Africa. So we get a Mubu puffer. He's wild caught. A lot of you guys think he's super cool, but against the fact that he's wild caught. Well, if we don't provide industry there, they do things like introduce aquaculture. So there's a lot of people that are hungry and they need jobs and we need food and we need all these things, right? Well, they introduced the Nile tilapia into Lake Victoria so that they could eat them. Well, the Nile tilapia essentially eradicated tons of endemic species, so species that are only found in Lake Victoria, and unfortunately, they no longer exist. So now, the ecosystem there is infinitely worse. And if you really research, what happened was, Nile perch came in, we're gonna feed a bunch of people, it's gonna be great. Then it turns out, other people will pay more money for Nile tilapia than the people who live there. So now they get exported out of the country to feed a lot of people. So that's a problem. There's other things like aquaculturing, crayfish. What else there? In general, that's just what goes on is when you take away the industry, it gets replaced with something else. So what do we focus on, right? So we learned like there's good and bad. Who knows who's right? I don't know. I don't know what's right, but I do know that it's not strictly wild-caught fish are bad. I think what we need to encourage is preservation of places where stuff's being caught. And one of the ways to do that is to make them, we make money by catching this fish, and we teach them to do it sustainably, and we make sure we're not over-harvesting and doing all those types of things. And then that may lead to where we need to be. So that's my 3 minutes. We'll see you next Thursday.